Malignant hyperthermia is a rare but potentially lethal reaction to general anaesthetics. It can occur at any age and with any type of surgery. Treatment of malignant hyperthermia requires a coordinated response by the team. Practicing of such drills is a vital part of preparation for such rare but potentially dangerous incidents. What you are about to see is a reenactment of a real case of malignant hyperthermia. Just as you would in preparing for malignant hyperthermia, we've used a simulation centre for this reenactment. You will see the vital stages to recognition of the disorder and its treatment, including the importance of Dantrolene. Okay, Patrick, if we can just check one last time which side this hernia is on.
My right side.
And you've got a mark there, that's great. Okay, so we're going to give you a little cocktail of medicines, and the first one's going in now. And just as we do that, Jane's going to give you a bit of oxygen. And you just concentrate on your breathing, slow, steady, deep breaths while the anaesthetic's going in now. That's good. And just think of something nice like that beach in Portugal you were telling me about. Superb. Look, if you get your tube ready, I'll just bag with a bit of Sevo.
Right, are we okay to start?
Okay, my end.
Yep, like you.
So Phil, how was that conference that you attended yesterday?
Pretty good, there were some nice papers and our chaps did really well.
Diathermy please. Retractor. And some swabs.
Jane, when did you last change the soda lime?
This morning? Anything wrong?
Well, I'm not sure. The heart rate's gone up a little bit and it hasn't responded to more fentanyl. And now the CO2's gone up too. And actually he's feeling a bit warm. Do you want to turn the fluid warmer off? And also the bear hugger, thanks.
Are you okay, Jane?
Yes, just turning the bear hugger off. He's a bit warm.
Look, I'm really not happy. I think this is malignant hyperthermia, Jane. Can we implement the protocol? And Abby, I'm going to need you to stop what you're doing. Louise, can you go to recovery and get some Dantrolene? And on your way, get as much help as you can, please.
Yes.
What's wrong?
I think, Abby, he's got malignant hyperthermia. It's a reaction to the inhalational anaesthetic. You can see already his temperature's sky high, his heart rate's going up. I can't control his CO2. If we don't do something quickly, he's going to die. So, Joe, I think if you can just cover up your wound, keep it sterile. I'm going to need every pair of hands I can get.
What's going on?
Pound, I think he's got MH. If you could put a big line over there on the right side, Jane will give you a hand. Nicola, I need some ice and I need some cold IV saline. You'll find them in recovery.
Okay.
Is this what you wanted?
Absolutely. Dantrium's the other name for Dantrolene. So if you could go over that side, Louise, and start mixing, you're going to need some sterile water and 60ml syringes. Dorota, perfect timing. Louise is going to need a hand with mixing up the Dantrolene, if you could go and do that. Nicola, thanks.
Okay, so we've got the 60 mils of water, and now we've got the Dantrium, 20 milligrams for intravenous use. Expiry 11/2013.
Okay, if you put the ice down by his sides, one each side. I think Pound's finished that side. If you could go and put it round there. Pound, we need arterial line, central line, probably best on the left. Alan, we're going to need to keep him asleep, so we'll need some IV infusions of propofol, remifentanil. Okay. His temperature's still really high. How's the Dantrolene getting on, guys?
First syringe coming up.
Fantastic.
That's the propofol and Remy going.
Thanks, Alan. We're going to need some sodium bicarbonate, bound to be acidotic, also some furosemide.
Do you want me to pop a catheter in?
That'd be great. Yes, thanks, Abby.
I'll get the kit.
Thanks, Louise. So that's Dantrolene, 20 milligrams, expires 2013. So what's his weight, anybody?
He's 98 kilo.
Okay, so we need 2.5 milligrams per kilogram. That's the initial bolus. So that makes 250 milligrams, 20 milligram per vial, 12 and a half, call it 13 vials. Okay, so you guys keep mixing, please. Jane, I think things are turning for the better. The CO2's come down, even the temperature's down a little bit. Dorota, how much Dantrolene have I given so far?
6.
6, okay. We'll keep on giving the full dose. Jane, we're going to need some bloods. Full blood count, clotting and UNEs, please. Also, better get a blood gas.
Right, Phil, now that you seem to have things under control, can I continue?
I think so, yes, I think we should be okay.
Right, Joe, can I have the retractor, please?
How's he doing now, Jane?
Not too bad. Vital signs are getting back to normal.
Okay, that's good. Are you all right there, Patrick?
Oh.
Okay, the operation went well. You had a bit of a reaction to the anaesthetic though, but everything's fine. We just need to keep an eye on you overnight in the intensive care unit, okay? That's all routine for what's happened to you. Everything's fine now. Is that okay? Okay, so we're going to talk about it further tomorrow when you're feeling a little bit more awake. Just need to keep an eye on you. We'll get some more blood tests, so that'll be a creatine kinase, Jane. And we'll keep all these monitors on just to make sure everything's going okay. And I'll pop in later on this evening to see how you're doing. What you have just seen is the successful treatment and management of a malignant hyperthermia crisis. In Patrick's case, the reaction was triggered by sevoflurane, but any of the potent inhalational anaesthetics or succinylmethonium can trigger malignant hyperthermia. In Patrick's case, the classical clinical signs of a tachycardia, evidence of increased carbon dioxide production, and an increasing temperature were present. If treatment hadn't been instituted so rapidly, including cooling and the rapid administration of dantrolene, other clinical features of malignant hyperthermia would have developed. These relate to acidosis, to hyperkalemia, to rhabdomyolysis, muscle rigidity, and ultimately death. The incidence of malignant hyperthermia is estimated between 1 in 20,000 and 1 in 200,000 anaesthetics, although recent data suggests the genetic predisposition may be as prevalent as 1 in 3,000 people. We know that malignant hyperthermia does not occur with every exposure to triggering anaesthetics. Therefore, it is important to appreciate that it can occur after previous normal anaesthesia. As an inherited condition, malignant hyperthermia not only has implications for the individual, but their family as well. Even in developed countries with the most advanced medical technology, patients still die from malignant hyperthermia. Early recognition and prompt administration of dantrolene are critical for patient survival. In our case, Patrick survived because the theatre team was prepared. Dantrolene saves lives, but it must be immediately available and in sufficient quantity. The dantrolene should be kept within 5 minutes of any anaesthesia administering location. And the European MH group recommends that between 36 and 50 vials of dantrolene needs to be available to treat an adult patient of average weight. You will have noticed that the anaesthetist asked for as many people as possible to be brought to the theatre to help manage the malignant hyperthermia crisis. Ideally, more than one person should be allocated to the preparation of dantrolene. This is because mixing of the dantrolene does take some time. Considering the dose of dantrolene required and therefore the stocks that you should keep, all consensus guidelines now suggest an initial dose of 2.5 milligrams per kilogram, and it may be necessary to administer up to 10 milligrams per kilogram in total, or even more. Therefore, a patient of 70 kilograms would require 700 milligrams of dantrolene. There are 20 milligrams in each vial, so a patient weighing 70 kilograms would require 36 vials of Dantrium. However, as you know, many patients now weigh more than this. In our case, for instance, Patrick weighed 98 kilograms and required a total dose of 880 milligrams. So 44 vials were used in total in the operating theatre. This illustrates that stocking more than 36 vials per patient would be a reasonable precautionary measure. In the case you have seen, Patrick responded rapidly to treatment and his condition was soon stabilised. However, you will recall that arrangements were made to monitor Patrick on the intensive care unit for 24 hours after the reaction. This is because we know that in up to 20% of cases, the features of malignant hyperthermia can recur. If this happens, further doses of dantrolene will be required. Following full resolution of a malignant hyperthermia reaction, it is vital that arrangements are made to counsel the patient and to follow up the patient and their family. This can be done through a malignant hyperthermia investigation unit. It is the responsibility of the anaesthetist in charge of the case to make these arrangements. Details can be found on the website of the European Malignant Hyperthermia Group.